What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com, and welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, let's go to Del Mar, Saturday, August 24th, race 9 on the card. It is the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien Stakes, going 7 furlongs, $250,000 the purse, and this is going to be something to behold here. This is a great race. There's no doubt about it. I know the Travers is going to get a lot of attention, and it should, but this race here at Del Mar is excellent. Field of 8. Let's go through them one by one. Then, of course, we'll pick our winner. All right, let's go to number 1 to kick us off. And the number 1 horse is Moose Mitchell. Moose Mitchell, a California-bred 5-year-old who's coming off a little bit of a layoff. I haven't seen the horse since May 25th. This is, I said, hey, it's just a great race. Moose Mitchell would be a total shock to me if the horse won. Don't mind him taking a shot, obviously, but to be total shock. I just don't see it. Hasn't been very good against Cowbreds in the last 4 starts. I don't see how it's going to change against this really tough field. So number 2 is See Through It. See Through It. A horse was 4th last time out, beaten 4 1/4 in the Bing Crosby Stakes, but had won 2 races in a row before that and done it pretty impressively. So I think this horse, 57-1 and got 4th last time out, got beat by the Chosen Vron, closed the game Sugar in Jackstown. Those are good horses. So this horse could jump up, maybe hit the board again at a price. I wouldn't totally throw him out. To win, yeah, I don't really think this horse is going to win, but definitely could hit the board again at a big price. Number 3 is Happy Jack. This is a horse that 2 races back looked very good in the Triple Bend, getting the job done by over 4. Last time out in the Bing Crosby, not quite as good. I do think, though, that was a cut back to 6 furlongs. Now we're back to 7 furlongs. I think with a horse like him, who usually comes running late, I think that is going to help him a little bit. But his 2 races from the layoff, which was a Stakes at Santa Anita and then the Triple Bend, they were darn good. The last race just wasn't close to that. So he's going to have to get back into form. I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned about him. He might just be the same thing as like the number 2 See Through It. Might hit the board. I'm not sure if he can get all the way up and win. Let's keep going now to the number 4, Raging Torrent. Raging Torrent is a 3-year-old facing Olders for the first time, and so that's always a kind of an interesting situation. This is a horse, I really believe they thought this horse would be very good and just wasn't for the longest time. They even tried turf with this horse after just kind of disappointed on the dirt a few times. Ran very well, though, once getting back on the dirt, May 4th at Churchill Downs. That was during a Kentucky Derby weekend. Absolutely dominated a tough allowance race with horses that were pretty good and did it easily. And then last time out, another solid win at Churchill Downs in the Maxfield Overnight Stakes, going 7 furlongs. Both these races, that allowance and the Maxfield Overnight Stakes, were at 7 furlongs. So, loves the distance. Pretty fast horse, probably going to take the lead, probably going to be the one they've got to run down. I think he's here with a pretty darn big chance. He has been very, very good since moving back to the dirt. The number 5 is Big City Lights, and I like this horse quite a bit as well. Last time out in the Triple Bend, which was 3 months ago, so a little bit of a layoff as it is coming into this one, but a little bit of a layoff going into the Triple Bend as well. Got beat 5 1/4, just didn't do much, but before that, had been running very well, getting 1st and 2nds in pretty much every start. 2 straight wins before that 3rd in the Triple Bend. Look, I think this is a horse that can bounce back and run better. I think the biggest problem, though, for him, he has ran behind the Chosen Vron so many times in these Cowbred races. I mentioned at the top, I really like Big City Lights, but boy, he has just ran into to poor old, I shouldn't say poor old, he is the poor old horse of this situation because he runs into the Chosen Vron a lot. He runs into him again. And without further ado, the number 6 is the Chosen Vron. He's just a monster. 6 straight victories after running 5th in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And before that Breeders' Cup Sprint, he had 7 straight victories. So, I should say he has 8. I'm trying to count them real quick. Yeah, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 8. Yeah, he's pretty darn good. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he just didn't get out of the gate just all that well, and just didn't run quite as well, but man, he's been very good. Last time out in the Bing Crosby facing Open Company, he just dominated him. It wasn't a race, and so he's really good. He'll be really tough to beat once again. He comes in here clearly the one to beat. Stretching out to 7 furlongs, we should talk about that. He's usually at 6 or 6.5, but he did win over this track last year at 7 furlongs. It was a Cowbred race, but he did get the job done and, ran a speed figure that's just fine. You kind of go back to some of his other ones way back when. He also won a Cowbred race over this track in 2022 at 7 furlongs by 3 1/4. long story short, I don't think the extra distance is going to hurt him much at all. Speaking of distance, a big cutback horse here. How about the number 7, Senor Buscador? That's right, the Saudi Cup winner and the third place finisher in the Dubai World Cup, back at 7 furlongs. You may stop and think, well, that's awfully strange. Believe it or not, he ran in the Pat O'Brien in 2022. Ran third, only beaten 4.5. Got beat by Laurel River, who turned out to be a pretty good horse. Won the Dubai World Cup this year, and also defeated that day, by American Theorem, who at the time wasn't too bad either. But pretty good account of himself since then. And really, when you think of him, you do think of longer races for sure. Obviously winning at 1 1/8 miles, 1 1/4. Those type of things. He has been okay at a mile, though. Cigar Mile, he was second. I know, 1 mile and 7 furlongs is different, but what I'm trying to say is he's closed with pretty good kick, even when he's went a little bit shorter. Even if you go back to the Bing Crosby, he closed up that day. He just couldn't get him. He ran out of room. It's a layoff as well. That's another worry. Obviously, haven't seen him, in 147 days, but I mean, he's classy. I think he can jump up and hit the board. I don't know that I'd play him to win here. This feels like a prep for, maybe the California Crown coming up. And then, of course, the Breeders' Cup. But nice to see Senor Buscador back. And then finally, number 8 is Arrow the Great. And this is a horse coming off a third-place effort last time out, an allowance race here at Del Mar. Look, I think this distance is going to suit him well. He has some good races at 1 mile. He just might be a little cut below. Now, here's the kind of the kicker here. Arrow the Great did run third behind Parenting last time out in that allowance race. So that was a tough allowance race. He got a huge figure for that because they gave Parenting a huge figure. So the horses behind him have to get it. I question it a bit. He ran I'm looking at time form. He ran a 1:20 time form in that allowance race. That's 10 points higher than you've seen in his last 4 or 5 efforts. Did he really run that fast? I'm not sure. I don't buy that number. And if you don't buy that number, he's hard to buy in this race. So that is the field of 8 for the Pat O'Brien. It's going to be an excellent race. I'm going to go number 6, the Chosen Vron, on top. Because how could I not? He just keeps winning races like this. New company, tough company today. The number 4 Raging Torrent trying on older horses. He's going to be at the front. He's going to be the one they're going to have to run down. I could see him doing it. Senor Buscador, maybe he comes back super sharp. Maybe, but I just think the Chosen Vron, he's the horse, man. He doesn't lose races like this. I don't think he's losing this one either. So give me the number 6, the Chosen Vron, on top in the Pat O'Brien. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Pat O'Brien 6 live from Del Mar, Saturday, August 24th. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And look, if you want more coverage of all the races at Del Mar, Saratoga, everywhere, all day, every day, all over the country, go to racingdudes.com. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching, and good luck if you're playing Del Mar on Saturday.